All right, so sit comfortably. If you have a pillow or blankets to elevate your hips, that might feel nice. Yeah. Oh, and before we start, part of the practice and part of opening class is giving Hannah a little treat. Since you guys can't be here to give her one, I want to make sure she gets one. There you go, sweet girl. Yeah. She didn't even have to get up for it. You're pretty spoiled, honey. I know, Mama. All right, so I'm gonna get my little Hannah pillow. So just take a comfortable seat. And just begin tuning in to your body and to your breath. There's a space in the mind right between the brows, the eyebrows, the center of the head. That is the, not the crown chakra. My brain just went blank. The third eye, there we go. It's the third eye. That's a place of clarity and vision and enlightenment. So if you're able, just visualize the air entering the nose as almost like an inverted V, right? Just going up to that point. The inhale connects at that third eye chakra. It's a way to sort of awaken that area in the body. And this is an area that can become pretty tight when our mind is just thinking, thinking, thinking. And just because we try to escape that by watching TV or doing the things that we're doing, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, it doesn't mean that those thoughts go away. They kind of pile up in there and create some tension. So one practice that I've been enjoying, it's a little self-massage practice, is to just place the fingertips right there on the brows, right above the eyebrows, and just do little circular massage motions in either direction, and just apply as much pressure as what feels good, right? Just kind of working that space above the brows. And then gradually take the fingertips towards the temples and begin massaging the temples. Right now, we can't receive regular massage because of the mandates. We can't, have social distance and massage. So but we have our own hands, right? We can do this. And this is a great way to relieve some tension, especially in that forehead, the temples, and then moving down towards the jaw, right there at the top of the jaw, and just along the jawline. Right? These are areas that Mr. Iyengar reminds us they hold a lot of tension and they tighten up the brain. And when the brain has tension, so does the rest of the body. It's working your way along the jawline. And I'll even take my fingertips up to the base of the cheekbones there and drag them down towards the bottom of the jaw. That's the masseter muscle. For some people, me, this is a really tender area. Good. And then let the fingertips kind of travel back behind the neck, right there at the base of the skull on the occipital ridge area. Just doing some little circular motions at the base of the skull. You could even stroke up a little bit on maybe one side and just turn the head over to one side and get a stretch. Just kind of explore, see what feels good, see what feels nurturing. Good. Finish a couple more little rounds there at the base of the skull, occipital ridge. And then release your hands to your lap. Now pause and feel. Do some shoulder rolls. You can start to let the eyes come open if they're not. And then go in the other direction. And take the arms overhead and interlace your fingers and press your palms up. Lower your arms and twist to the right. And then bring your arms up in the center and twist to your left. And face the center. Stretch your legs out in front and squeeze the quads a few times. I'm gonna pop up real quick and just make sure that I have all the settings right. Just real quick, hold on. Yep, wait, nope. Okay, almost. All right. Good, and then bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle. Put the Hannah pillow on the Hannah chair. Roger's a good guy. He let me theme the living room around my dog. Oh, goodness. All right, so we're gonna start lying on our backs. And I think most of you have done this flow before where we flow from bridge pose to extending the legs up. Well, bridge to hugging the knees and then feet towards the ceiling. Can you hear me, Taylor? Okay, all right. So we lie on our backs. And if you wanna watch the first round, that's fine. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Inhale, the arms go overhead and you lift the hips up into bridge. Exhale, lower your back body onto the floor and hug the knees to the chest. Inhale, straighten your legs, feet to the ceiling, arms beside you. Exhale, bend the knees, feet to the floor. Again, inhale, arms overhead. Bridge pose, exhale, back to the floor, knees to the chest. Inhale, feet to the ceiling, arms beside you. Exhale, knees bend, feet to the floor. Inhale, arms overhead. Bridge, exhale, lower down, knees to the chest. Inhale. Legs straight, arms beside. Exhale, knees bend, feet to the floor. Two more like that. Inhale, arms overhead, bridge pose. Exhale, lower down, hug the knees. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms to side. Exhale, knees bend, feet to the floor. Last one, inhale, arms overhead, bridge pose. Exhale, lower down, knees to chest. Inhale, legs straight, arms to side. Exhale, knees bend, feet to the floor. Good. And just rock the knees a couple times, side to side. Now little abdominal awakening exercises. So, and this is good to do right before lunch, right? Get the tummy all ready. So these are the pelvic tilts that we do a lot in class. On the inhale, pelvis tilts away from the floor, and you create sort of an arch in the back. As you exhale, engage the abdominal muscles right below the belly button and bring the pelvis back to the floor. And then inhale, arch away. We're not overdoing the arch, right? And then exhale, abdominals bring the pelvis back to the floor. And here, we're not overdoing this either. We don't want to flatten the curve of the spine. That's a hashtag now, isn't it? Flatten the curve. So just go back and forth. And when you exhale, be mindful that you're not pressing the feet, that you're not squeezing the glutes or pressing the arms, right? These are all areas that will take over to help the abdominals avoid doing any kind of work. So really connect the abdominals, having them contract and bring the pelvis back to neutral. Do one more little pelvic tilt away from the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Contract the abdominals. Now stay here, just maintaining a decent breath rhythm. And I like to imagine there's a corset kind of wrapped around my torso, hugging the muscles in, right? And then maintain this position where the front ribs are not poking up towards the ceiling and the low back just has a very minimal arch. Back of the pelvis is connected to the floor, and then just lift the feet a couple inches off the floor. Remember, the closer the feet are to the floor, the more difficult and challenging this is. So if you feel like your back is starting to arch or your neck is starting to arch away from the floor, just lift the feet a little higher. We want this to feel easy on the neck, challenging for the abdominals. We're just taking several breaths here unless we need a break. Always take breaks when you need them. Woo, all right, put the feet down. We're gonna do that again, except we're gonna add a few little things to it. So go ahead and contract those abdominals. Hold the back of the pelvis to the floor. Lift the feet away from the floor. Bring the hands behind the head. Inhale here. As you exhale, curl the shoulder blades off the floor. And then just drop the head into the hands. That way you know you're not pulling on the head. You're just cradling the head, but you're curling the shoulder blades off the floor. This activates even more abdominal muscles. Hooray! If you need to, you can put the left foot on the floor. Otherwise, keep it hovering and straighten your right leg out, allowing the right leg to hover. Another thing that will make this easier is to put your shoulders back on the floor. Bring the right knee in and stretch the left leg out. I don't know about you, but my abdominals are burning. All right, and then bring the back body to the floor, draw the knees to the chest. Woo. Put your feet on the floor. Wow, give your belly a little love and rub it. Good job, belly, good job. This is where our personal fire lives, right? And if we're not doing things to stoke it, that causes us to feel more sluggish, right? So it's really good to do some things to strengthen the abdominals, not only for our physical health, right, of having a healthier balance and lower back and all that, but it helps our energetic health as well. It helps us with our power. All right, let's roll over. Press the hands into the floor, come up. And go ahead and make your way into downward facing dog. Feel free to keep the knees bent as long as you need to. Just go back and forth, pedaling those feet. Press the hands evenly into the floor. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Let the head and neck just relax. And now straighten both knees. Rock forward to plank pose, bringing the shoulders over the wrists. And engage those abdominal muscles again. Press the hands into the floor, press the hips back towards downward dog. So we're going to move from plank to down dog a few times, linking the breath to the movement. Pardon me. On the inhale, rock forward to plank pose. And as you exhale, go back to down dog. One more time, inhale to plank pose. Exhale to down dog. Stay here in down dog. So for about 4 or 5 cycles, what I want us to practice is having a complete breath with a complete movement. So as your inhale begins, that is when the transition from down dog to plank begins. So you'll begin your inhale and transition to plank and complete plank when your inhale completes. Take a pause and then you'll transition to down dog on the exhale. So for this, we'll be going at very different rhythms from each other, right? So you'll just want to move with a complete inhale, and it might take a few times to really get the rhythm. You might go, oh shoot, I finished my inhale and I'm not all the way to plank yet. Or you might finish the movement before you finish the breath. And it's okay, it's just a practice. It can be a really meditative way to practice when we connect the breath to the movement. So I'll be quiet for a few moments and allow you to just hear your own breath. We'll do one more round. When you complete your next round, just start to walk the feet towards the hands and come to forward fold. Yeah, now, a little snorter. And then come all the way up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, move into forward fold. Inhale, come into half forward fold. You can place the hands on the shins. Bring the torso parallel to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. All the way back up on the inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up, inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Half forward fold, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Come all the way back up. And hands to the heart. Give the shoulders a few shrugs. All right. Now, for this next little part, we're going to be doing poses on the wide part of the mat, so facing the wide edge. If you want to turn your mat so that it faces the screen, you're welcome to do that. You've got a moment or two. If you want to use a block for a triangle pose, you could have that handy. Otherwise, we'll just place the hands on the shin, okay? Or hand on the shin. All right, so standing with the feet in the center, step your feet nice and wide apart, about 4.5 feet. Turn the right leg out to the right with the toes facing the short edge of the mat. Left heel angles back slightly. Arms out like a T. Good. Turn the gaze over the right fingertips. Take a look down at the right knee and slowly begin to bend the right knee so that it lands over the right ankle and doesn't move to the side, right? We want it going dead set over the ankle, not forward, behind, or left or right of the ankle. Very good. Feel the connection of your feet. Nice. Draw those belly muscles in and up. Reach out through your arms. Make your arms longer. Straighten the left knee, or sorry, the right knee. Straighten your right knee and reach out over your right leg, coming into triangle pose, placing the right hand on the shin or the block, and reach that left arm up. You got it. Looking good, ladies. Looking good. Breathe. Nice, steady breathing. Come up and out of the pose. Lower your arms, and we'll switch sides. Left toes face the other end of the mat there, the short end of the mat. Right heel angles towards the other end of the mat. And then bend that left knee, arms out. Good. Nice. Once you've got that knee in place, then you can elongate the neck and take the gaze, the eyes, into a direction that feels good for your neck, right? So it might not feel good to look all the way out past the left fingertips. It might feel better to look straight ahead in line with your heart. Straighten that left knee, reach out over the left leg. We'll come into triangle pose on the left side, taking the left hand to the block or the shin and reaching the right arm up. So just like in Warrior Two, with that focus on making the arms longer, same thing in triangle pose. Make your arms long. If your left hand is connected to the shin, reach it into the shin, through the shin. Reach your right arm up to the heavens. Come out of the pose. Turn the feet to parallel. Place the hands on the hips and just hinge forward, coming into wide-legged forward fold. Right, so just take those hands to the floor. If you need blocks, you can have the hands on blocks. Relax your head and neck. I can see Hannah while I'm bent forward. She's so stinking cute. Oh. All right, walk your hands forward under your shoulders and just put a slight bend in the knees, hands to the thighs, and come up. Step the feet together for a moment just to give the legs a break, because we're going to go back into that wide-legged stance. But it can be kind of exhausting on the legs to keep them that far apart for too long. Okay, so this time we're going to move back and forth from warrior two to triangle using the breath. So again, it's another way to kind of have a more meditative flow, right? So step your feet nice and wide apart. Turn the right leg out, left heel back. Arms out. Good. Now, inhale here. Exhale, bend the knee, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, triangle pose. It's gonna move kind of quickly. Inhale, come out of triangle pose. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, come out. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, bend the knee. Straighten the knee. Exhale, triangle pose. One more time. Inhale, come out of the pose. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, triangle pose. Nice. Good. From here, bend the right knee, face the floor, place the hands on the floor, and step the right foot back to downward dog. And then 3 times, inhale to plank, exhale to down dog. Using your own breath, cadence, and rhythm. And then walk the feet towards the hands. Come all the way up. Hands to the heart. All right. We're going to do the little sequence on the left side now. So facing that wide edge of the mat, step the feet nice and wide apart. Turn the left leg out 90 degrees and the right heel angles back towards the back end of the mat there. Arms out. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, come out of triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, exit triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, triangle pose. Last round, inhale, come out. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, triangle. Nice, bend that left knee. Place the hands on the floor. Step the left foot back to downward dog. Two options here. One is to take child's pose. The second is to do 3 inhales to plank, exhales to down dog. Good. Once you finish that, we can all come to child's pose or separate the knees a little wider and do downward facing hero. If you're able to either place that area above the brow on your forearms or even a block edge, you could do that during this pose and just kind of massage that area, again, either with your forearm or a block. Just kind of rolling, nice and easy. The block and forearm are a lot firmer than our fingertips, so don't force or hurt yourself. If your sinuses are a little overactive right now, it might feel tender right above the center of each eyebrow. Okay. Now let's go ahead and place the hands under the shoulders and come up right here. And return to our back bodies. And just give the knees a nice little hug. This is kind of like upside down child's pose. You can roll around on the lower back. Good. Now keep the right knee hugging into the chest. Let's stretch the left leg out straight along the floor. You can have the leg resting on the floor. We'll do a little bent knee twist. So place the right foot on the thigh, the left thigh, and just drop the right knee over to the left as you stretch your right arm out to the right. Don't force anything, just let it, let the pose be what it is, right? You can let it evolve with each breath, right? You might feel a release on the second or third exhale. Or you might feel it on the first. You can take that time or this time here to maybe even reconnect with those areas that we massaged in the beginning of class, just relaxing them, the muscles across the forehead, the temples, the jaw, base of the skull. Just feel a softening there. Slowly unwind. Place both feet on the floor, knees bent. This allows you to sort of even out your body after that twist. Then we'll bring the left knee to the chest and stretch the right leg out on the floor. And drop the left knee to the right as the left arm reaches out to the left. That little click. And then unwind. I think you all said you had a strap. So, I don't know where mine is. Oh, here it is. So let's go ahead and belt the heel of the right foot and do our hamstring stretch. Supta Padangusthasana. Right leg straight, left leg is on the floor and straight. Relax your shoulders. Again, relax the muscles on the forehead, temples, jaw, and back of the neck, base of the skull. I sometimes make that the intention of a yoga practice when I begin. I did the years ago when I read in Light on Life by BKS Iyengar. I read about those areas causing tension in the body. All right, let's go ahead and cross the right leg over the body a little bit. There we go. Ooh, everyone's favorite. I made it an intention before my practice to, as often as I could remember, whenever I was in the practice and felt resistance, I would stop and then bring my focus to relaxing the forehead, the muscles around the eyes, the jaw, and the skin on the back of the neck, you know. And it changed my practice. It's been so helpful. All right, so now put the belt in the right hand, both ends of the belt, and drop that leg open to the right. Do your best to ground that left leg down. The left hip might roll up a little bit just because the right leg is pretty heavy. But just do the best you can. And bring the right leg back up, and we'll let the belt switch sides. So take it to the left foot. Ooh. It feels like my left side belongs on a different body. You could also, while your foot is up here in the air, it gives you time to examine your toes. You can spread your toes, maybe make note, is it time to change the polish, if you polish your toes. So just spread them. And then both ends of the belt in the right hand, cross that left leg over. Oh, I don't know when this pose is ever going to feel good. Oh, probably now when we come out. So we'll take the leg to the left, open it to the left, doing our best to keep that right leg grounded. But the hip, again, it might come up just a little bit. That's okay. We just don't want to have the left leg completely on the floor and the right hip jacked up away from the floor. All right, let's exit that. Set that strap beside you. Give your knees a little hug. We're going to go to Shavasana now. If you have socks that you want to put on or a blanket that you'd like to cover with, go ahead and take time to get comfy. I'm going to get my hand pillow back and put it under my knees. Do any little fidgeting or shifting around that you need to do in order to get comfortable. And as you steady your body, this can be a place where the mind really wants to go a little crazy. Sometimes being still is really easy and relaxing, and sometimes it's almost like a prison. It just depends on how our body and mind react, right? And so there's no judgment ever. We just practice being the observer, practice stepping outside of yourself and observing your experience. And then as the observer, just like you would with a child, you could lovingly just coach yourself through Shavasana. If you observe that this is a very easy, peaceful time, and just stay quiet and present with yourself. You're observing tension in certain areas of the body. You can talk to those areas in a loving way. Give them permission to let go. If the tension is in the mind, you can be the observer. You can see what's going on in the mind. You can tell the mind everything is okay, just as it is. I'm here for you. These are only thoughts. They are not who you are. They don't, the thoughts aren't here to tangle us, right? We have the ability to slow them down, sort them out. All right, so now go ahead. If you want to stay in Shavasana, just roll over and turn me off. If you want to end with me and have a little time for discussion, go ahead and begin bending your knees and place the feet on the floor. Just rock the knees from side to side. You can roll over to one side. Press the hands into the floor. Come up to a seated position. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'm going to say namaste and then turn off the recording and then unmute. Namaste.